Hey everybody, it's Emily from ARC Schooling, and today I'm bringing you a really big book haul. Over the last month, I may have gotten carried away. It happens. I've had these books sitting here and I thought I need to film this book haul so I could finally put these books away. One of them is still in transition, but I'm done. I'm done waiting for it because literally I need to put these books away. I'm just going to kind of go through. Some of these came from Barnes & Noble, some of these came from Book Depository, and some of them came from Amazon, and some from Book Outlet. Like I said, I got a little carried away, but that's okay. Because books. Let's start with the Book Depository, because that's the one I was most excited about. I have never ordered from Book Depository before, and I was kind of curious about them since I keep seeing it come up a lot on BookTube, and so I was just, you know, shopping around, and I stumbled upon the most beautiful books in the world. These are the Terry Pratchett Discworld books. Well, two of them are Discworld, one of them is not, but they are just beautiful, and I'm still waiting because I ordered 4 books. 3 of them came today, and they took forever. I have never ordered there before. I know it's in the UK, so I knew it was going to take some time, but it took a long time, longer than their stated time frame, but whatever. And one of them's still not here yet, so I ordered The Color of Magic, which is the one that isn't here yet. I ordered The Light Fantastic, and I ordered Equal Rights. Are they not, like, just beautiful? They're hardcover. They're just, like, really, really nicely put together. They all have a little ribbon inside for a bookmark. They're stunning. They're beautiful. I'm so happy to have these. I would really like to collect all of them because I think they would look beautiful on my bookshelf. Like, their spines are really nice. I like them. The other one I got is, it's also Terry Pratchett, but it's Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman and Good Omens, which I have read as an ebook. And I really wanted to own it because I really, really liked it. And I know it's going to be made into a series, but I'm not sure when that will happen. But I wanted to read it again anyway. So if you haven't read Terry Pratchett, then I don't know what you're doing with your life, but you should go and read him because his books are just amazing. I love them. I want to read all of them. I've got a ways to go. I've not read anywhere near close to even half of his books, but I've loved everything that I've read so far. He is fantastic, and I'm very excited to own these. Let's just go right into the Book Outlet order. So the first book you've already seen because I showed it in my Booktubeathon TBR, and that is Book Jumper, or The Book Jumper, by whose name I cannot pronounce in the slightest. Mishtild Glasser? I butchered that name, I'm sorry. But I bought this because the cover spoke to me and because the type of story this is. Like I said in my other video, my daughter and I both hated Inkheart, and we've been talking about what we would do to create our own story that is similar to that, but better. And this book kind of looks like they had the same idea. I don't know. I don't know a lot about what it's about, besides that this person has the ability to jump into books rather than pull things out. I think. I might be wrong. I'm going to be reading it this week. I'll let you know. But it looks so pretty. I just really liked the cover. I also bought Midnight in St. Petersburg by Venora Bennett. And the book takes place right before and during the Russian Revolution of the early 1900s, and it follows a Jewish girl who's been fleeing from the pogroms, and honestly, they had me at Russia, but it's also about a Jewish person in Russia, and I mean, that's just, I like to read about that. And also, beautiful cover. I also bought another Terry Pratchett book, The We Free Men, a Tiffany Aching adventure. I don't know hardly anything about this particular book besides that it takes place in Discworld. And that's really all I need to know to want to read it. I also want to say, and I could be wrong, if I'm wrong let me know, I want to say that this is more of a YA version of his Discworld, which I don't know if that's true or not necessarily YA, but like a children's possibly. I don't know, but it sounds cute. There's monsters and headless horsemen and fairies, and I want to read it. They were having a sale on historical fiction, which is also why I picked up Midnight in St. Petersburg. They were all like 50% off, I think. So I did get quite a bit of historical fiction in this box. I have The Shards of Heaven by Michael Livingston, and this takes place in ancient Rome, right after the death of Julius Caesar. Also got The Chalice by Nancy Beaulieu, and I think this has to do with Henry VIII. Yeah, it's 1538 in England. So yeah, you're exploring another angle from Henry VIII's reign that is like crack to me. I read way too many books about Henry VIII's reign. I should be an expert by now, honestly. The amount of historical fiction I read about that man. Anyway, I picked up yet more Terry Pratchett. I should just call this a very Terry Pratchett book haul. This is The Long War. I have sort of been slowly collecting this series. There are, I want to say 4 books in the series. I now have 3. I think The Long Earth is the first one, which I have. This is The Long War. And I also have another one in the series. I have The Long Mars. So I think I have the first 3. I think there's one more, like The Long Utopia, I want to say. And these are books that Terry Pratchett wrote with Stephen Baxter, and they are science fiction, and they're sort of like a space odyssey, I believe. And I haven't read any of them yet. I've just been collecting them. But I do want to read them because they sound fascinating, and I love science fiction, and I love Terry Pratchett, and I know they're going to be great. I haven't picked them up. The last 2 books I got from Book Outlet are also both historical fiction. I have an Alison Weir book called The Marriage Game, and this is all about Elizabeth I and how she just refused to get married, and her affair with Robert Dudley. So this is going to be awesome. I love Alison Weir's books. She is like one of my favorite historical fiction writers and history writers. I've read some of her history nonfiction as well, and they're always really, really well done. And so I know I'm going to enjoy this. And the last book I got from Book Outlet is The Secret Book of Kings, a novel by Yoshi Brandes. I'm sorry, I know that's wrong. I don't know how you say that, but anyway, this is about, I want to say this is like a biblical retelling with a twist that takes place during the founding of the Kingdom of Israel. So yeah, this says it upends conventions of biblical novels, engaging with the canonized stories of the founding of the Kingdom of Israel and turning them on their heads. Presented for the first time are the heretofore unknown stories of the House of Saul and the northern Kingdom of Israel, stories that were artfully concealed by the House of David and the scribes of the southern Kingdom of Judah. It just sounded really interesting. The very last line is that to what extent can we really know our past when history is only written by the victors? So I like that this gives another angle into a well-known time and place, because I just find that kind of fascinating. And I'm also thinking I'm going to pass this book on to my mom when I finish it, because I know that she'll probably like this quite a lot. She's very devoutly Jewish, and I think she might get something from this book. And also, beautiful book. So those are the books that I bought from Book Outlet, which is clearly too many books. I then purchased a few books, just a few, from Barnes & Noble, because I had I had a goal. I wanted to get a new copy of Alice in Wonderland, because the copy that I had was really old and sad, and just it needed to be replaced. So my goal in going to Barnes & Noble was to pick up a nice copy of Alice in Wonderland, which I did. I got one of their fancy, it feels like leather, but it's not. But it's just a really nice copy. And it's also got Through the Looking Glass. It's got a little bookmark, so I think this copy is going to last quite a long time. The other one I purchased when I was like 14, and it looked it, so I really needed a new copy. So now I have that. And of course, I walked into a bookstore with one thing in mind and left with several. I also ended up with 3 more books, because I walked by the table that said buy 2 get 1 free and said of course I will. So I picked up I Am Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid, and I had heard about this book on BookTube, I think, and it sounded really interesting. It is, I want to say it's a psychological thriller, but I'm not positive. But it just sounded really interesting, and I really want to read more thrillers. I'm excited for that. And I also picked up The Soul of an Octopus, a surprising exploration in the world of consciousness by Cy Montgomery. I've sort of been collecting Cy Montgomery's books. I really like her writing, and this has been like nothing but rave reviews. I am very excited to pick up a book about an octopus because why not? And I actually wish that I'd bought this sooner. I would have probably put it in grade 10 because I didn't have any books on animals in grade 10 for the biology, and now I'm wishing that I'd have more time. But I don't, so let it go, Emily. It's okay. There's always more books. So anyway, I'm very excited for this. I've heard nothing but amazing things, and I know it's going to be great. And the last book I picked up, I've actually already read, but I read it like 10 years ago or so. No, maybe not 10 years ago, but I read it several years ago when I borrowed it from the library, and I've thought about it off and on ever since, and I thought it was amazing and hysterically funny, and I was excited to get myself a copy. And that is The Year of Living Biblically, One Man's Humble Quest to Follow the Bible as Literally as Possible by A.J. Jacobs. I read this book a while back, like I said, but I've also read another book by him. I want to say it was called The Know-It-All, where he reads the entire Encyclopedia Britannica in a year and kind of writes about his experiences with that. This one, he chooses to live out all of the laws of the Old Testament because he himself was a secular Jew, or is a secular Jew, I should say, and thought it would be an interesting experiment to sort of live those laws. And he does everything. He even stoned a person, which I still think is the funniest thing I ever read, where he's throwing pebbles at somebody because, you know, you can't really stone someone anymore. But anyway, it was a really interesting, thought-provoking book, and I highly enjoyed it, and I'm excited to reread it. That's all the books that I bought when I was at Barnes & Noble. The last batch I have purchased, some of them I've purchased, some of them were gifted to me by my father for my daughter. He gifted to us, he bought my daughter the rest of the Poppy books because she is obsessed with those right now, and we didn't have the rest. We only had 2 of them, or should I say, turns out we had 3 of them. One of them I didn't realize we already had. It was hiding upstairs, so we have an extra copy of that now. But yeah, so we have the rest of the Poppy books by Avi. The series is really fun. It's animal stories. They live in Dimwood Forest, and they have adventures. And the characters are very endearing. We really enjoy these. And he also sent to us this book, which is the activity book that goes with maps by Alexandra Mizelinska and Daniel Mizelinsky. I know I'm terrible with names. I'm having the hardest time with names today. Anyway, this is the activity book. I actually need to get a copy of the book that it goes with because I don't have that yet. But the activities in here look beautiful. They tear out pages, and they are maps and mazes. So if you've been looking at this and you're not sure you want to get it, I would say, not having seen the book that goes with them yet, I would hesitantly say go ahead and get it. It might be worth the money. This would make a really nice tie-in too if you're doing Build Your Library Kindergarten and you feel like you need to add a little extra to it. I think this looks like it might be a really nice tie-in with that. And I also, because I bought a couple of these a while back, but I didn't buy this one. I bought the Everything You Need to Ace American History in One Big Fat Notebook. I like this series quite a lot. I have the world history one, the science one, the English one, and now I have American history. But I wanted to get this because I'm contemplating doing an American history year with my youngest. She's been obsessed with Hamilton for the last little while. We've talked quite extensively about him without going too much into other stuff since we were still trying to focus on the ancient history stuff. So I'm contemplating breaking my typical script and doing an American history course next year with my 3rd grader. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm still planning it in my head, but it's probably going to happen. And so I picked this up because we've been going through the world history one sort of as a refresher since we took 2 years to study ancients, and I kind of thought she might have forgotten some things. So we've been reading through that, and it's nice. It's nice for that purpose as a refresher, as a sort of fill in the blanks. I'm thinking this might be similar for American history. I don't know yet, but there's not a lot of American history spines for that age group, And so I don't know, I'm thinking this might be our base, our spine book. And then I also picked up Rad American Women A to Z, because we have the worldwide one, which I like quite a lot. And so this one is focusing on American women. And I bought, oh, this is heavy. I bought the Children's Encyclopedia of American History, and this book is massive and full color. I love the DK books for the pictures mainly. I mean, they are quite stunning. So we're gonna use this in conjunction with the Everything You Need to Study American History. These will kind of go together to form the base for our American history study, if I have the time to put that together. If not, we'll just go ahead and start grade 2, build your library grade 2, and go into the Middle Ages, because honestly, that's already done. I don't know if I really need to stress myself into creating a new thing, but if I do, I will probably write it and maybe publish it eventually, because I'm a nut. I'm crazy and I overwork myself. It's exhausting being me sometimes, I think. I don't know why I do this. I'm a bit of a workaholic. So those are all the books that I bought in the month of July, which is a lot of books, I have to say. I'm going to try not to buy anything in August just because I bought so many in July that I just can't quite justify it. But, you know, I'm also lying because I'm probably going to treat myself to something once I finish grade 10 as like a surprise, and I don't need it. Oh, also, I almost forgot that I also got this for my husband. He bought it for me as a surprise because I don't know if I mentioned that they came out. Oh, and I know I'd said I really wanted to read a British version of Harry Potter because I've heard it's quite different. Quite a different experience, and I've never read any of the British editions. And then he saw they had the 20th anniversary ones, and even though technically I'm a Hufflepuff, he thought I'd like the Gryffindor one better. And I have to say I do. I really like the colors of this better than the Hufflepuff colors. Really, those are all the books that I got this month. And I'm going to try not to overdo it in August because honestly, I've got a lot to read right now that I haven't gotten to yet, so. Did you get anything new? I'd love to hear about it. Share down below in the comments so we can talk. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll click the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Happy reading. Bye!